Well, the good news, Rod, is that most people don't think that way, especially most small business owners, because they've had to make referrals work for them. Most of them, they're in their industry association or they're in study groups or, they have colleagues and they compare notes and they share resources. Most people in the business world are in that camp, thank goodness. Now, if I run into someone, and that does happen sometimes, it's like you're asking me to do your work for you, or why should I do, what's in it for me to introduce you?
Absolutely.
Right? And occasionally you do get that. So first of all, my formula, if you will, or my approach to any kind of objection, no matter who it's coming from and what part of my life, is to first try to understand the objection, explore the objection, right? So if in that case, I'd probably say, well, it sounds like you want to be pretty careful. If you ever introduce me to anybody, you'd want to be careful who that would be, right? Because you don't want to feed your competitors with me as a resource. Is that what I'm hearing? And then you'd explain a little more. And there's usually an emotionality about that. So I'm kind of getting through that. And I'll say, and look, tell you what, let's not talk about any of your competitors. Let's not worry about those. I know you have other business associates. You have relationships with people who supply you with your business, et cetera. It's going to depend on the context when I'm going to put into the
absolutely.
Right? But, could we explore that? Can we, we won't touch that area, I promise, but you've seen the value of the work I do, and I'm trying to bring this value to other folks. Would you be open to helping me help other folks? And that's all we're really asking for, is we're asking for help in helping others. And we don't do this, by the way, unless we know we have a satisfied client, unless we know, or I should say engaged client, unless that value discussion has brought out some good stuff, right? That's why that's the first step in this conversation. So I'm only going to be asking people who I know really do see the value and feel good about it. Also, another technique, if you will, or tactic, is when you do ask for introductions, the best way to do this, Rod, is to come with a specific person in mind. So if I said to you, Rod, how do you feel about introducing me to George Smith? I know you know George, you've talked about him a few times, right? So now I know this person's a colleague, and even if he may be a friendly competitor of yours, and you may be fine with that, or you may not be, but that gets the conversation started. So that's, in a nutshell,